Welcome to the first Kamau and DeGratier's Star Wars show. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk about Star Wars lore, Star Wars movies, books, and whatever things we can find on Star Wars. So we got a couple of topics, a couple of things to talk about today. The first thing we want to talk about is the sequence of events with all the Star Wars material that we have out there. We have all the movies now. We have Clone Wars and we have Star Wars Rebels. And there's some books sprinkled in between there.
I was just thinking that the books.
Yeah, the books are in there. We won't speak too much to the books.
That's it.
No video games. There are video games out there too.
No,
we're not going to include those just yet. Not until we play them. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the sequence of events of the movies and the TV shows and how everything lines up. So you had some questions on that.
Right. So we were talking about where Vader came into the scene, and I was getting just a sequence of everything in my head because it's easy to just kind of forget where we are and who already has kind of peaked and who's died and all that stuff. So the first, of course, is Phantom Menace. Right? Got that one. Phantom Menace is first.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie, I always forget the name of the second movie.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones, right.
Because I just watched it.
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and then we go into Clone Wars.
Right.
Right?
No, the last one is like Revenge of the Sith, of the prequels.
But Clone Wars is before that.
Oh, Clone Wars, the TV show. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It's in the
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
TV show.
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, the
Clone
Clone Wars
Wars,
TV show,
then Revenge
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
And that's important, right? Because in Clone Wars we get, Anakin's training, right? And it's all his adventures. That's what we meet Ahsoka. So that's a really important process point in the sequence of things. And then Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
We meet Vader.
Yeah. We see his birth.
Yes.
At the end of Revenge of the Sith. And one thing I want to point out is there's a Clone Wars movie that preceded the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
TV show.
Those are all together.
Yeah. A lot of folks forget that movie that's out there. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. And then after Revenge of the Sith is Rebels.
Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right? So Rebels, and then Rogue One. Right? So Rebels, and then Rogue One, and then A New Hope and the rest of the movie.
All right. And there's some overlap between Rebels and Rogue One because you can see the Ghost, the ship from Rebels, in the Battle of Scarif.
Correct.
So there's some overlap, and that's where a lot of speculation is at. Like, how much overlap is it between the first Rogue One and Star Wars Rebels?
Right, and that might be something we could talk about later on in like season 4. Like, the season 4, they ended up in that battle. Like, the season 4 overlap directly with Rogue One. That's a good, interesting question.
There's some good speculation points.
Right. So it's good to get that out and just kind of get that straight in my head, everybody else's head, to have a good frame of reference.
So after Rogue One, what's the rest of the sequence?
A New Hope.
Okay.
New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back.
Other way around. Empire Strikes
Back, Return of the Jedi. You watch them so many times.
It's just because at that point, we're talking about 30/40 years ago,
right?
And they're ingrained in our head based on what's our favorites.
It's almost just separate.
Right.
Like, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't think of those as a series. I just think of them as self-contained movies.
Back then, it was just Star Wars, right? You just watched Star Wars. With the titles and the names that came with the prequels,
right? And when you think about Empire Strikes Back, and you don't think, okay, this is the next chapter. It's just, okay, Empire Strikes Back.
It's the next movie, right? Next in the series,
right?
Okay.
And since Disney bought it, who knows where this thing is gonna go? There's really no way to tell, because the new movie is gonna be
Episode 8.
So it'll be after
the Last Jedi. Yeah. Oh, you know we forgot to put Awakening in the series. The Force Awakens.
Right.
After Return of Jedi.
Right. The Force Awakens is after Return of Jedi and then The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of movies. And we'll recap that.
Okay.
Because we're pretty long in this one.
I noticed that.
So
we'll go through it one more time?
Yeah, so if you can just review, if you just go through the list. This is the Star Wars Disney Canon sequence of events. There's a lot of material out there. There's a lot of legends and a lot of extended universe. But this is what we have from Disney. And again, it doesn't include books and video games. We're talking just movies and TV shows.
So, first, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Good movie. Starts off, we meet Qui-Gon, Maul, you know. Not Maul. Yeah, Maul.
Maul's in that one. That's where we're introduced to Maul.
So that's where he gets sliced in half. He shows up later on.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Fun times. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That's where what's the name of that planet where the clones are made?
Not Mustafar, Geonosis.
Geonosis. Is it Geonosis or Geonosis?
Geonosis.
Yeah, Geonosis. And we meet Boba Fett and his dad and all that.
Jango,
thank you. And then came the Clone Wars movie, followed immediately by the Clone Wars series. So that's where we get Anakin and Obi-Wan's adventures. So that was great. Then Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, The Birth of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes in that movie, like a scene that I recall whenever I go to the beach, when Anakin and Padme are visiting that planet and that line about sand.
They went back to Naboo.
Yeah, to Naboo.
Yeah, because she thinks the senator is under attack. Someone's trying to kill her.
Yeah,
they don't know who it is. So she's like, I think I'd be my safest at home because I know everything. I know people there. And then again, because I just watched it the other day, Anakin starts to sense his mother is in pain. He was like, I have to leave, right? So, and then that's where he goes on. He goes out back to, I think, Tatooine, and he kills all the sand people, right? So that's part of that story.
And they're on this planet, and they're talking about sand. He's like, I hate sand. It's coarse, and it gets everywhere. And whenever we go to the beach every year, I think about that line from the movie. just pops in my head. So then we have Rebels, overlapping with A New Hope, and I dare say that seasons 1, 2, and 3 come before A New Hope.
I agree with that.
No. This is wrong. Rogue One. We didn't put Rogue One in here.
No, wait. That's next. It's after Clones. It's after
we're Rebels now.
It's after Rebels. So what you got off?
Rebels overlapping with Rogue One.
So we were at Attack of the Clones, and Clone Wars goes in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So where are we at in the list?
Revenge of the Sith, then Rebels, overlapping with Rogue One. Then A New Hope.
You're going into a point. So you were saying season 1, 2, and 3 is before. So let's explore that. So what do we have in season 1, 2, and 3? We know we see Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end of season 3. We see the death of Maul at the end of 3. Princess Leia pops up in season 1, and she's delivering Hammerhead ships, which we end up seeing in the
Rogue
movie.
One.
Right, Rogue One.
And all we know about all we know is that the ships appear. We don't see any people.
Right, we don't see the folks.
So it's theoretical.
Well, let me change it. Some of the people are. Chopper is confirmed to be in Rogue One.
Is he?
Yeah, and so is Hera is confirmed via her name being mentioned in Rogue One. So those are some of the individuals we are aware of continuing through the the movie.
We haven't seen any of the events in Rogue One yet in Rebels.
That's correct.
So either A, it hasn't happened yet in the Rebels universe.
Yeah.
Or if they decide that timeline-wise they want to shift things, they have to do it by flashback, which I doubt they would do. Yeah. Right? So maybe Rogue One comes after season 3.
Or maybe season 4.
Way after season 4, or in season 4, right?
Yeah,
Just
season 4. Because we have Thrawn here. We have the Thrawn saga. So Thrawn is still alive. They gotta end that story somehow. Because why don't we see Thrawn in the new stuff? A lot of people have to die or disappear from Rebels because we don't have a lot of their stories. Not saying they can't be alive in the original Star Wars series. It's just most likely
doing something else.
Yeah, they're off doing something else. They're just not on the main Rebel path. And we have to explore those stories, right? Like Ezra and Canon could be alive in the original series, but maybe they've given up being Jedis and following some other paths. According to the video games, we have these stories that come out in video games based on other people, where we've speculated who some of the Rebel characters are based off of. So we have stories to explore. So there's plenty more to come after that.
Yes, there's mileage to be covered.
So where we at? We're on
A New Hope.
Rogue One.
Rogue One, A New Hope,
Uh-huh.
Empire Strikes Back, Return of Jedi,
Right.
The Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi. And that's all we know so far.
That's the sequence of events that we have for Star Wars movies and TV shows.
In our next episode, we'll talk about Ahsoka's blade colors. In the Clone Wars, they were one color, and then in Rebels, they're a different color, and we'll discuss why that is. And we'll go from there. Thanks for joining us one time. This is Kamal.
This is DeGratier.
And we'll see you next time.